Hi there, so this is the first video for cells and organelles in the series of cells and organelles, and we're going to have two more videos, one for cell organization and one for protein synthesis. So this video is catered to Edexcel specification, and people doing IAL can really benefit with this as well. Okay, so the kinds of cell. There are two kinds of cells, eukaryotic cells and prokaryotic cells. The major differences in prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells is that eukaryotic cells are large and complex, and they have a nucleus present. A common example of what a eukaryotic cell would be is animal or plant cell. A prokaryotic cell is a much simpler and smaller cell. The nucleus is absent in the prokaryotic cell, and an example of a prokaryotic cell would be bacteria. So how exactly would you remember what cell is prokaryotic or eukaryotic? Well, eukaryotic cell sounds like you, and you are an animal. So basically, eukaryotic cell is a complex cell which belongs to you. Therefore, by default, prokaryotic cell would be a simple cell for an organism that has no nucleus. So these are the pictures of a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell. On the left hand side, this part, we have a prokaryotic cell, and you can see that it has much less organelles than the one on the right. You can see that the nucleus is not present. And on the right hand side, we have the eukaryotic cell. This is the nucleus. This is the nucleus. This is the mitochondria. It's an oval-shaped organelle. Golgi apparatus always looks like this. It's like a flattened shape. And we have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. You can always identify a rough endoplasmic reticulum by like dots around it. Those dots are ribosomes. Then we have centrioles. They're just hollow tubes. Ribosomes, which are just dots around the cell. Then this is the plasma membrane, and that's all you need to know about the cells. This is just the structure. You may need to label them, so please know how each organelle looks like. You can view the imager on the link here. So these are the differences between a prokaryotic and a eukaryotic cell, and you need to know this very well because it's usually tested in the exams. Okay, so the eukaryotic cell is a larger cell, and the DNA is linear. It has many organelles present, such as mitochondria or Golgi apparatus, and the nucleus is present. The cell wall for animals, they do not have a cell wall. The plant cells, their cell walls are cellulose, and the fungi, their cell walls are chitin. They have very large ribosomes. And an example of a eukaryotic cell would be human cheek cell. Now we come to prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic cells are smaller cells, and their DNA is circular. There are fewer organelles present. You can add that, such as they do not have a mitochondria. Their nucleus is absent, and their cell wall is made of polysaccharide. They have much smaller ribosomes, and an example of a prokaryotic cell would be bacteria. Note, they usually try to trick the students by questioning whether fungi is a prokaryotic or a eukaryotic cell. So please know and understand that fungi is a eukaryotic cell. Next, this slide is very important, and I'll strongly recommend you to understand the to know the organelles and their structure and their function. Most commonly, they question. Most commonly, they describe the organelle or they describe its function and then ask you to tell what the organelle is. So therefore, it's really important to know the organelle and its structure and its function. Okay, so nucleus is enclosed in a double membrane with many pores, and it contains chromosomes with genes made of DNA which controls protein synthesis. Note here, nucleus and mitochondria are the only organelles that have a double membrane. Double membrane, usually question which organelle has double membrane. So do know that if they talk something, if they say that the organelle is oval shaped and has double membrane, it's automatically mitochondria. Or if it's just an organelle that has double membrane and many poles, it's nucleus. Nucleolus is found in the nucleus, and it's a dense body in the nucleus, and it's the synthesis of ribosomes. Ribosome is a small organelle that floats free in the cytoplasm, or it can be attached to rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is the site of protein synthesis. We're going to talk about protein synthesis in the next video. Mitochondria is an oval-shaped organelle that has double membrane, and the inner membrane is folded to form a cristae. It is the site of aerobic respiration where ATP is produced. We have two kinds of endoplasmic reticulum, rough and smooth reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is a system of interconnected sacs with ribosomes. Remember, ribosomes is what makes rough endoplasmic reticulum rough. It processes proteins. Then we have a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and it synthesizes lipids and steroids. Lysosomes are round organelles surrounded by a membrane, just a membrane, not double, and it contains digestive enzymes for the breakdown of unwanted structures or old cells. Centrioles, most animal cells have one pair, and it's involved in the spindle formation and cellular transportation during mitosis. A vesicle is a small fluid sac surrounded by just one membrane, and it transports substances in and out of cells and around the cell. Some are formed by the plasma membrane by endocytosis, and some are formed by Golgi apparatus during exocytosis. Vesicles is also very common in the exam, so please do understand it. Then we have the Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus is a group of fluid flattened sacs, and vesicles are often seen at the edges of sacs. Golgi apparatus is also one of the examiner's favorites, so please know it. And a Golgi apparatus processes and packages new lipids and proteins, and it also makes lysosomes. So therefore, I would highly recommend you guys to understand the structure and function of each organelle and know it by heart. Next tips, all notes are from the official mark scheme, so memorizing them would be a good thing. This part is really important, as usually you do have a question of 2 to 5 marks in the paper. Understand the difference between eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells clearly, and it's usually tested in A2 as well. Lastly, thank you for watching and hope the video has helped you. Like if the video has helped you, or comment if you have any suggestions or would like to request for a certain topic. And lastly, do subscribe. Thank you so much, and hope you have a nice day.